You open a message and type, "Can I ask you for something?" Then you erase it, not because the need disappeared, but because the asking suddenly feels more dangerous than carrying it alone. You imagine the sigh, the delay, the lecture, or the look that says your need has become someone else's problem. That fear can be learned. If sadness was minimized, questions became arguments, or support arrived with guilt attached, your mind may start predicting a cost before you speak. The prediction can become automatic. Stay easy. Explain everything. Wait until the problem is undeniable, and ask only when there is no other option. Research offers a careful clue, not a verdict. In one study, adults who recalled more childhood emotional invalidation also reported more emotional inhibition and psychological distress. In a separate 5-study research program, current perceived invalidation was linked with emotional dysregulation and distress. These are associations, not proof of one cause, one childhood, or one diagnosis. The pattern may show up in ordinary moments. You apologize before naming a need. You provide a complete legal brief for a small request. You choose people who are predictably unavailable, possibly because familiar disappointment can feel easier to predict. Or you wait until exhaustion turns a manageable conversation into an emergency. None of this means you are weak. It may mean an old protection is still doing its job. The first repair is a separation. Another person's response is information about that interaction. It is not a measurement of whether your need is real. A rushed answer can hurt. A refusal can matter. But neither one can retroactively prove that you should never have asked. This distinction also protects against a different mistake. Not every no is emotional invalidation. People have limits, competing obligations, bad timing, and needs of their own. A safe relationship is not one where every request is granted. It is one where a request can be heard without ridicule, punishment, coercion, or a demand that you erase yourself. Start by mapping one small moment. What did you need? What response did you predict? What did you do to protect yourself? And what actually happened? Keep the answers behavioral. They changed the subject is observable. They wanted me to feel small is a motive you may not be able to know. Next, make the request smaller and more specific. Name the kind of help, the amount of time, and the freedom to decline. Could you listen for 10 minutes? I'm not asking you to solve it. Or, can you help me compare these 2 options tonight? If you can't, I'll ask someone else. A bounded request gives both people something clear to respond to. Then choose the receiver, not just the message. A close friend may offer warmth, but not technical advice. A colleague may understand the task, but not the emotional history. A therapist can work with persistent patterns in a setting designed for that purpose. The right question sent to the wrong person can still produce a painful answer. Now read the response as behavior. Do they answer the request? Ask a clarifying question? State a limit without attacking you? Offer another time? Those are signs this interaction has room for both people. Mockery, punishment, threats, surveillance, or repeated retaliation are different data. You do not need to win an argument before taking those behaviors seriously. Receiving support can require practice too. Begin below the level of crisis. Accept one offered favor. State one preference. Ask one factual question. Or let someone sit with you without performing competence. The goal is not to become dependent. It is to build evidence that support can sometimes arrive without a hidden invoice. If a relationship repeatedly turns needs into leverage, the task may shift from asking better to protecting your safety and limiting access to sensitive information or important decisions. Shorten the conversation. Move important decisions to a safer setting. Keep records only when it is safe. In situations involving abuse, coercion, stalking, exploitation, or a credible threat, prioritize safety and qualified local support over confrontation. And keep professional care in the plan. Emotional validation cannot diagnose depression, rule it out, choose medication, or replace treatment. If distress is persistent or daily functioning is changing, contact a qualified health professional. If self-harm may be imminent, or you cannot stay safe, contact local emergency or crisis services immediately. Do not start, stop, or change prescribed treatment because of a video or one conversation. The experiment is deliberately small. Need, prediction, request, response. Repeat it where the stakes are low enough to learn. Sometimes the result will be care, sometimes it will be a clean limit, sometimes it will reveal that this person is not a safe place for this need. All three outcomes provide information. Acting on it can increase agency. Asking for help is not a guarantee that someone will say yes. It is the decision not to abandon yourself before anyone else has answered. The old prediction may still speak first. Let it speak. Then make one clear request to one appropriate person and allow the present to provide new evidence.